Rassie has just announced the Springbok 23 to take on the All Blacks at Wellington. And yes, it is a Monday. Yes, Rassie has dropped this lineup. And I think there's two reasons for that. One is so that we can stop thinking and people can stop talking about the Eden Park game. And two, to give us fans something to look forward to this week and to talk about. If you're new around here, please hit that subscribe button. We're on the road to 100,000 subscribers. It means the world to me if you just hit that subscribe button so we can continue to grow this channel. Leave this video a like, and as always, drop your opinions on this team down in the comments. Now, we will touch on a little bit from last week, Saturday, but we're currently on the road. We're in a new Airbnb because we're in between Auckland and Wellington because we're traveling down to cover the final test match here in New Zealand. There's so much to play for both the Springboks and New Zealand in this next fixture because Australia beat Argentina. You got to think that Argentina are going to come back and try and beat the Wallabies. And if the Springboks can end up beating the All Blacks this week, then everyone has 2 wins and 2 losses, and the Rugby Championship is wide open. So let's break it down. Here is your 23 to face the All Blacks in Wellington. And as you can see, there are so many changes in this 23-man lineup. There's some big calls that Rassie has made. He's just dropped it, so this is my live reaction to it as well. Let's start with the front row, an unchanged front row in Oxenchair, Malcolm Marx and Thomas du Toit. Now, to be honest, I think Malcolm Marx is quite lucky to be starting this test match just because of the performances he's been having over the past couple of months. He wasn't at his best in that test match at Eden Park. Our lineouts only operated at 78%, and in that first test match against Australia, they functioned at 69%. The second test match against Australia, 100%, and then 78% against New Zealand. Now, I do think Ruan Nokia has a lot to do with how well the Springbok lineout functions. He didn't play in that first test match against Australia. We're at 69%, and then the 2 that he has played at, the one percentage was 100%, the other was 78%. New Zealand did a very good job of putting our lineout under pressure, but I don't think Malcolm Marx had his best day throwing in. I mean, we even gave away a short arm because our communication was off in one of the lineouts. But talking about the front row, look, I think we scrummed decently. Ox had he didn't have a bad game, had a decent game. Maybe one error was when he tried to go for the try, and the All Blacks ended up holding it up. Thomas du Toit was a little bit quiet, but I do think that maybe they've settled now, and I still think Ox is our best number 1. Malcolm Marx is probably still our best number 2. Manus van der Merwe must be putting a lot of pressure on him because he is on the bench. But I would have liked to see potentially Manus van der Merwe start this game and give him an opportunity. I know that's a big call to make, which is why he's coming off of the bench, but there was a case to be made for that. You look at the lock department, no Eben Etzebeth. Now, I haven't seen anything, but there could be a slight niggle. Maybe Rassie wants to try out the lock combination of Lood de Jager and Ruan Nokia. I still think Ruan Nokia is our best number 5 at the moment. Our lineouts just work a little bit better when he's on the field. Lood de Jager made a good impact when he came on the field at Eden Park. It's a new combination. It's going to be very interesting to see how it goes, but I don't mind it at all. Then you look at our loose trio, and I think this is our best combination if we're talking about the Springbok loose trio at the moment with the guys who are fit. Siya Kolisi back at number 6. He had a quiet game at 8 last week, and against the All Blacks, you just can't have a quiet game when you play in 8th man. Pieter-Steph du Toit, probably the best performer out of the bunch of the Springboks. Probably I rated him a 7 out of 10 in my previous video. And then Jasper Visser is back from his red card ban, and I think Jasper Visser is going to bring so much to the Springbok lineup. He's going to bring that dominance that we need, that physicality that we need. He's going to get us over the gain line. Almost what Kwagga Smith kind of did when he came on at Eden Park. He looks like a number 8. Siya just doesn't look like a Springbok number 8. He's just not as physical as a Jasper Visser or a Kwagga Smith in that 8 jersey. But I do think this is probably our best loose trio. Marco van Staden, obviously not named in the Springbok 23, which is also a big call because out of the loosies, he's probably been performing the best, and I know a lot of people have been disagreeing with me on that, but I do think that is the case. Then into the back line, and some massive calls have been made here by Rassie. We asked for changes, and here they are. In that number 10 jersey, Sasha Feinberg Ngumazulu. Now, I think he is lacking a little bit of confidence. He had a very, very good season for the Springboks last season, but he hasn't really regained that form. I thought when he came off of the bench at Eden Park, he really did provide some impact, and he looked like the only guy that had the potential to break the game open for the Springboks. He beat a couple of defenders, but I just don't think he was on the park long enough to make a big, big difference. Kobus Reinach in that number 9 jersey, which is a massive call, and I don't mind it. Grant, I thought his kicking game was quite good last week, but the All Blacks did put us under a lot of pressure at ruck time, and it felt like he was just a tad slow to get that ball out to Andre Pollard so that we could sort of get onto the front foot. But credit has to go to the All Blacks for slowing the Springbok ruck down so much. So Kobus at 9, Sasha at 10, into the centre pairing, and it's a very interesting one. Damian Willemse at 12 and Kanan Moody at 13. Now, we've been asking for changes after that Eden Park performance. I criticized Rassie, and I mean, I'm just a fan. This is just my humble opinion. But we need to, every time he has a big game, he kind of goes back to those 2019, 2023 Rugby World Cup winners, and he kind of asks them to pull off these big results. So I love this from Rassie. It's almost throwing caution, no caution to the wind, telling the young guys, go and have a jaw, express yourself. Let's see what you guys can do. Damian Willemse at 12. Again, one of those players who may be lacking a little bit of confidence, but I love him in that 12 jersey. And you look at Sasha at 10, Damian Willemse at 12, feels very, very Stormers-esque. You've got two playmakers in the middle of the field that is going to break open the game, that's going to hopefully cause the All Blacks some chaos there in the midfield. Then Kanan Moody at 13. I thought he had a decent game at Eden Park. I love him way more in a 13 jersey than I do on the wing. I thought his defense was a whole lot more improved on the wing than it was in that 13 jersey. I think it was against Australia where he played 13. But now it's going to be another test. He's coming up against the All Blacks, the best side in the world, and this is going to be a true litmus test for Kanan Moody, especially on defense. We know JC Kriel is very good on defense. Him and Lukanya in that 13 channel. This is going to be a big test for Kanan Moody, because I think the last time he played 13, he missed 4 or 5 tackles. So I love Kanan Moody there. I love Damian Willemse there. And it just feels like a 9-10 centre pairing that can break a game open, that the All Blacks aren't going to expect. This is a running, attacking style backline that we got going, so it's going to be very interesting to see what game plan the Springboks come out with, because this isn't saying Springbok DNA to me. This is saying Tony Brown ball, let's let the boys play, let's see what happens, let's express ourselves and see if we can take down the number 1 team in the world in Wellington. You look at the wings. Ethan Hooker getting a start in that number 11 jersey, which I love. He's so good under the high ball. He's very good defensively, and he's a big, big ball carrier. Cheslin Colby in that 14 jersey, who else, again, had a bit of a quiet game at Eden Park, but maybe just didn't have enough ball to try and break open the game. When he did get the ball, he tried to look for gaps, but the All Blacks shut him down nicely. And then Apelele Fassi in that 15 jersey. So, I mean, you take a look at that back line, and it's almost everyone's changed. I think only Cheslin Colby keeps his spot from the Eden Park test match. Sasha at 10, Damien at 12, Apelele Fassi at 15, all game changers. All 3 of them can break the game open. You look at Kanan Moody at 13, who also, if he's on form, he's one of the best rugby players in the world. You got Chezi there, and then you got Ethan Hooker starting in his 3rd cap for the Springboks. So very, very exciting backline for the Springboks. You then look at the replacements. We've obviously gone for a 5-3 split again, and I think we might have seen the last days of the bomb squad, or that's what it seems at the moment. But a 5-3 split, Marnus van der Merwe, the replacement hooker. Like I said when I was talking about the forwards, I think he's a little bit unlucky not to start this game. Jan-Hendrik Wessels and Volkolo in the loose and tight head positions, which I love. They're Bulls partners. They come from the Bulls and they dominated in the URC. So we can expect them to come on and change the game and win us scrum penalties. Then Archie Snyman as a replacement lock. And if you're talking about a game changer to come on and provide some impact, it's Archie Snyman. Kwagga Smith is always going to be wearing that number 20 jersey for the Springboks. And then the 3 backline players, Grant Williams, Marnie Lebok, and Andre Esterhuizen. So we know what Grant's going to provide. Marnie is going to continue where Sasha leaves off. It's going to be interesting to see if Marnie comes on at 10 and Sasha moves to 15, or how they gauge that depending on injuries and stuff. And then Andre Esterhuizen can slot in at 12, can also slot into that hybrid role if he needs to go to flank. So a very, very exciting team. Rassie Erasmus has made all the changes that he promised he was going to, and I think we're going to see a completely different style of Springbok rugby in Wellington. I'm very, very excited. I think we're going to see some Tony ball. I think they're going to throw the kitchen sink at it and try and get a win over the All Blacks in New Zealand. But I think this is how you do it. There's no point playing it safe now. We got to throw caution to the wind and go for it. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments. If you haven't, please leave this video a like, hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Take it easy. Peace.